You know, every year around this time, churches fill up. People put on their Sunday best. They sit in the pews. The pastor says a few words, someone passes the tray, you take the little piece of bread, you take the little cup of juice or wine, and then you go home. And for a lot of people, that is Holy Thursday. But I want to submit to you today that if that's all it is to you, you may have been in the room, but you missed the whole point. Because what happened at that table the night before Jesus went to the cross, that was not a ritual, that was a revelation. And that's what we're going to dig into today. Stay with me, because by the time we're done, I believe Holy Thursday is going to mean something completely different to you. Now I want us to slow down here for a second, lean in a bit. Because when John says he loved them to the end, that's not just a soft, emotional closing line. It's not just poetic. In the Greek, its eyes tell us. It means to the uttermost, to the very edge, to the absolute limit of what love can carry. So this isn't gentle sentiment. This is love stretched all the way to its breaking point and still holding. Now think about that room. If you knew that in a matter of hours your body would be torn apart, your back ripped open, your strength drained out of you, would you be thinking about anyone else? Would you be focused on their needs? Most of us wouldn't. We'd be trying to brace ourselves, trying to survive what's coming. But Jesus isn't reacting like that, because he's not caught off guard. He's not a victim in the story. He's in control of it. John 10:18, he says it plainly. No one takes it from me. I lay it down of myself. That's not the language of someone being overpowered. That's authority. So he's sitting at that table fully aware, not partially, not vaguely, fully. He can already see it. The scourging, the thorns, the weight of the cross. But more than that, he sees them. He looks at Peter and he already sees the denial, not once, 3 times. He looks around the table and he sees the moment they all scatter, running into the dark. And then his eyes land on Judas. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because most of us, if we know someone is against us, we create distance. Quietly, carefully, we protect ourselves. But Jesus doesn't do that. He keeps Judas right there, at the table. And in that culture, that matters. Sharing a meal wasn't casual. It was covenantal. It meant relationship, trust, closeness. Psalm 41:9 had already said it. Even my own familiar friend, who ate my bread. So this isn't random. It's unfolding exactly as written. But that doesn't make it easier. John says Jesus was troubled in spirit. And that word, it's not light emotion. It's not surface-level sadness. It's deep, agitated, like something churning inside. Because this isn't just about suffering. This is personal. This is someone he walked with, taught, invested in for years. And still, he doesn't expose him, doesn't shame him, doesn't call him out in front of everyone. Instead, he reaches for the bread, and he gives it to Judas. That small act, most people in the room probably didn't even realize what it meant. But culturally, that was a gesture of honor. It was intimate, intentional. It was grace. One more opportunity. One last moment where Judas could stop, turn, respond. And he doesn't. Now sit with that. Because if Jesus could share a table with that kind of betrayal, if he could extend honor to the one who would hand him over, then what does that say about who is allowed at his table? We tend to think we need to clean ourselves up first, get everything right, fix the habits, stabilize the faith. Then maybe we can come close. But that room in John 13, it wasn't full of strong, steady, faithful men. It was a room full of weakness, doubt, fear, failure already forming. And Jesus knew all of it. He didn't discover it later. He didn't adjust his love after the fact. He loved them knowing. Romans 5:8 says it clearly. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Not after. Not once we improved. While. So when you see the bread, don't reduce it to ritual. Don't flatten it into something familiar. That bread was broken in a room where betrayal was already in motion. And he broke it anyway. He gave himself anyway. He knew the worst about the people sitting there and still chose to give them his best. That's not just a moment in history. That's the gospel. When Jesus takes that bread, slow it down for a moment and just watch what he actually does. He takes it. He blesses it. He breaks it, and then he gives it. It's simple on the surface, almost easy to miss. But that sequence, it's not random. It's not just something people did at dinner. It's him. It's his whole life, compressed into a few quiet movements. Because bread doesn't just appear. We read bread and think of something finished, something ready. But that's not how it starts. It starts in the ground, hidden. Then it grows, gets cut down, beaten, crushed, worked over and over again until it becomes something usable. And when Jesus calls himself the bread of life in John 6, that wasn't a last-minute idea. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never hunger. He already said it. He already framed it. So now at the table, he's not introducing something new. He's revealing what was always true. Because that breaking, it didn't begin at the cross. That's where we usually go. We jump straight there. But if you look closer, it was happening long before that. Every time he chose obedience when it cost him something. Every time he held back when he had every right to respond. Every time he was exhausted and still withdrew to pray. That was part of it. That was the grain being ground down. When he says, "This is my body," he's not just pointing forward to what's about to happen. He's pointing back to a life that never stepped outside the will of the Father. John 4:34. My food is to do the will of him who sent me. That's how he lived. Obedience wasn't occasional. It was constant. It sustained him. So when he hands them that bread, it's not just something to eat. He's giving them something much deeper than that. He's handing them the weight of a life they themselves couldn't live. Almost like he's saying, "This is what I've done, and now I'm placing it in your hands." Now think about what that means for us. Because if "this is my body" only means his death, then we stand at a distance. We watch it happen. We acknowledge it. Maybe we feel something about it. But that's it, we're observers. But if it includes his life, everything changes. Now it's not just something to look at, it's something to step into. Hebrews 10 gives a glimpse of that. A body you have prepared for me. I have come to do your will, O God. No shortcuts. No quiet compromises. No moments where he said, just this once. It's a full life of alignment with the Father. So when you come to the table, you're not just remembering that he died. You're being confronted with the fact that he lived perfectly in your place. And then he takes that perfect life and somehow wraps it up in something as ordinary as broken bread and offers it to you. Pause. And then he says, take, eat. Not look at it. Not think about it. Take it. Because eating is different. When you eat something, it doesn't stay outside of you. It becomes part of you. It sustains you. It fuels you. So this isn't just admiration. It's participation. It's him saying, don't just stand back and respect what I've done, receive it. Let it actually shape you. Let my obedience become the strength you live from. Let my surrender start working its way into yours. Because he didn't just allow his body to be broken to settle a debt. He allowed it so that his life, everything he lived, could be given, shared, placed into the hands of people who could never produce it on their own. All right, this is the turning point. When Jesus lifts the cup, he's not introducing a ritual or setting up a symbol for later. Something is actually being enacted, something that's been building for centuries. Because in the Hebrew mind, blood isn't a minor detail. It represents life itself. Leviticus 17:11 says it directly. The life of the flesh is in the blood. That word, nephesh, points to the soul, the inner life, the very essence of a person. So under the law, when blood was shed, it wasn't random. It was tied to justice. A life for a life. Sin carries a real penalty, death. So if there's going to be atonement, something has to stand in its place. That's what the sacrificial system was doing. But it never finished the job. It could cover sin, delay judgment, point forward. But it couldn't remove it. So when Jesus lifts the cup, he's not continuing that system. He's bringing it to its end. Because now the life being offered isn't animal life. It's his. Sinless, uncorrupted, eternal. And then he says, "This is my blood of the new covenant." That matters. In that world, you didn't casually agree to a covenant, you cut one. Blood made it binding. So when he says new, he's marking a shift. The old covenant, law written on stone, external, exposing sin but unable to change the heart, is ending. And something else is beginning. Something internal, relational, written within. Hebrews 9:14 explains it. The blood of Christ cleanses the conscience. Not just behavior. The conscience, that place where guilt sits, where accusation lingers, where you replay what you've done. The old system couldn't reach there. This one does. It doesn't just cover the record. It clears it. Then he says, "Drink from it, all of you." That would have been shocking. The law forbade drinking blood. So why say it? Because he's not talking about it in a physical sense. He's pressing into something deeper. To drink is to receive fully personally. You don't fix thirst by looking at water. You don't get healed by studying medicine. You take it in. So this isn't observation anymore. It's participation. You can hear this, agree with it, even respect it, and still remain unchanged. Or you can receive it. Because what he's offering isn't just forgiveness as an idea. It's an exchange. Your life marked by sin and limitation. For his whole, clean, and without fault. That's substitution. But it doesn't stop there. It becomes union. His life in your place, and then shared with you. Matthew calls it remission, aphesis. Not ignoring sin. Removing it. Sending it away completely. Psalm 103 says it, "As far as the east is from the west." That's total separation. Pause. So the cup isn't just symbolic. It's a guarantee. The debt has been settled fully. And when you drink, you're doing more than remembering. You're stepping away from trusting your own effort and placing your confidence in the life that was poured out for you. That's the shift. That's the covenant. When we talk about receiving the body and blood, we need to move past the surface level definitions. In the Greek, the word isn't passive. It carries the idea of taking hold of something, almost like you're claiming it, making it your own. That matters, because what's being offered here isn't meant to stay external. It's not something you observe or agree with from a distance. It's something you take in intentionally. Paul calls this a mystery, but not in the sense of something hidden, more like something once hidden that's now been revealed. Colossians 1:27, Christ in you, the hope of glory. That's the shift. Most systems work the same way. Man reaching up, trying to get closer, trying to improve, trying to become acceptable. But this is the opposite direction. God moves in. So when you take the bread and the cup, you're not just remembering an event. You're stepping into an exchange. You bring what you are, your sin, your instability, the parts of your life that don't hold together. And he gives you what is his life, his strength, his obedience. Now, there's a balance here that's easy to miss. When we talk about eating his body, there's a sense in which his life becomes the pattern. You begin to see what obedience actually looks like. But if that's all it is, a pattern, you'll burn out trying to imitate it. That's why the cup matters. Because the blood speaks to power. You could say it this way. The bread shows you the life. The blood gives you the life to live it. Galatians 2:20 presses right into that tension. It is no longer I who live. That old version of you, the one driven by fear, by habit, by self, that doesn't just get improved. It's put to death. And what remains isn't independence with better behavior. It's dependence. A life now being carried by another. Jesus uses the word abide in John 15. Meno, stay, remain, continue. I am the vine, you are the branches. That image is deliberate. A branch doesn't produce life on its own. It doesn't strain or manufacture fruit. It simply stays connected. So when you receive him, it's not like inviting a guest into a part of your life. It's a transfer of ownership. He doesn't visit, he remains. Which means this doesn't stay confined to a moment at the table. It follows you into ordinary things, into conversations, decisions, temptations. It reshapes how you respond because the source of your life has changed. And eventually that shows up. It has to. Because if Christ is truly within, your private life won't stay disconnected from what you claim publicly. 2 Corinthians 13:5 puts it plainly. Examine yourselves. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? That's the question. Not just what you say, not just what you attend, but what's actually at work inside. So Holy Thursday presses it further than comfort allows. Is he something you speak about? Or someone you're actually living from? Because the table isn't about trying harder to imitate him. It's where you begin to actually incorporate him. If the bread and the cup show you what Christ provides, the basin and the towel show you where he stands. Because foot washing in that world wasn't symbolic, it was practical. The roads were dirty, animals everywhere, dust sticking to everything. To wash someone's feet meant dealing with the mess they picked up just living life. It meant getting close to their walk, not avoiding it. And then you see what Jesus does. John says he laid aside his garments. That's not just a detail, it's deliberate. It echoes Philippians 2. The one who had every right to remain where he was steps down, lays it aside, takes on the position of a servant. He did it when he entered the world. And here, he does it again in a smaller, visible way. He removes the outer robe, takes up a towel and kneels. That's the picture. Not distant, not elevated. Kneeling. And that's where it starts to confront us. Because Peter reacts immediately. He's not confused, he's uncomfortable. You shall never wash my feet. It sounds respectful, but underneath it, there's resistance. Because Peter understands authority, he understands roles, but this doesn't fit his categories. And if we're honest, it doesn't fit ours either. Because to let someone do that, to let them get that close to your mess, means you have to admit it's there. It means you stop managing how you're seen. Jesus answers him directly. If I do not wash you, you have no part with me. That's not soft language. He's saying, you don't enter this relationship by staying composed and in control. You enter it by being served. That's the part people resist. We'll work, we'll serve, we'll stay busy doing things for God. But letting him deal with the parts we'd rather hide, the habits, the shame, the things we've learned to cover, that's different. And that's exactly where he goes. So the doorway into his kingdom isn't performance. It's surrender. It's letting him see clearly and not pulling away. Then he shifts it. John 13, he says, "If I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet." This isn't a suggestion. It's a command. Mandi comes from mandatum, commandment. So what he's establishing here is a different definition of greatness. Not visibility, not status, not influence, but willingness to go low, to serve in ways that aren't seen, to step into someone else's mess without stepping back. That's the pattern. And then there's that line that's easy to miss. He who has bathed needs only to wash his feet. In other words, there's a difference between being clean and staying clean. The cross settles your standing with God, but your daily walk, that still moves through a broken world. Things stick, dust builds up. So this isn't about being saved over and over again. It's about ongoing cleansing, ongoing humility, staying in a place where you're still letting him wash what gets picked up along the way. And notice, he doesn't do this just to prepare them for a meal. He's preparing them for what's coming, for a world that will reject them, oppose them, hurt them. And instead of teaching them how to defend themselves first, he shows them how to love. From the ground, with a towel, hands in the dirt. We talk a lot about the table as a place of grace, and it is. It really is. But there's another side to it that we don't usually stay on for long. There's a warning there too. And Judas, he's the one who forces us to see that. Because the uncomfortable part is he wasn't far away. He wasn't an outsider looking in. He was right there in it, walking with Jesus, hearing everything, seeing things most people never saw. And still, nothing really changed in him. If you look at Matthew 26, this wasn't some sudden mistake. He didn't just snap. He went and asked, "What will you give me?" Like a deal, like a transaction. 30 pieces of silver, done. So by the time they're sitting at that table, he's already made up his mind. And then you get to that moment in John 13. Jesus gets up, takes the basin, the towel, starts washing feet. And eventually, he gets to Judas. Just picture that for a second. Those feet had already walked to the chief priests. The decision had already been made. The money was already waiting, or maybe already in his possession. And Jesus knows. He knows exactly what Judas has done and what he's about to do next. And still he kneels down. Still takes his feet in his hands. Still washes them. No pause, no skipping him. No quiet confrontation in that moment. Judas gets the same treatment as everyone else. That's hard to process, because it shows how far grace will go, even when it's not going to be accepted. And then there's the bread. Jesus dips it, hands it to Judas, and something shifts. John says, after the piece of bread, Satan entered him. That's heavy, because it means being that close, taking the bread, sitting in the moment didn't soften him. It pushed him further in the direction he was already choosing. That's the warning. You can be close to the things of God and still be completely untouched by him. You can hear it all, sit in it, even participate outwardly. And internally, nothing moves. Or worse, it hardens. That's why Paul later says in 1 Corinthians 11 that you can take the bread and the cup in an unworthy way. Not meaning you have to be perfect, none of us are. But disconnected, going through the motion while your heart is somewhere else. That's where it becomes dangerous. Because at that point, it's not real participation anymore. It's just appearance. And Judas is the clearest picture of that. He had the position, he had the access, he looked like he belonged. But there was no real surrender underneath it. So when Jesus says one of them will betray him, the others don't start accusing each other. They look inward. Lord, is it me? That's the right response. Because this isn't about identifying Judas out there somewhere. It's about being honest about what's going on in here. Judas leaves that room and John just says, "It was night." Simple, but it says everything. Because it wasn't just the time of day. It was what had settled in him. And that's the tension of it. You can sit in a place filled with truth, grace right in front of you, and still walk out unchanged. So the question is just, do I take communion? It's what's actually happening in me when I do. Is anything softening? Is anything being let go? Or am I just continuing as I am? Because the table isn't there to make us feel okay. It's there to bring us to a place where we stop hiding and actually surrender. And the same Jesus who knelt in front of Judas is still offering that same grace. But he won't force it. You either receive it honestly, or you walk away with it still sitting in your hands. When Jesus says, "New covenant," he's not using a vague phrase. He's pointing back to a promise Israel had been holding onto for generations. So to understand the cup, you have to see what it replaces. The old covenant was clear, but external. Given at Sinai, written on stone, it showed you what was right and where you failed. But that's all it could do. It exposed sin, but it couldn't change the person. Like a mirror, you see the dirt, but there's nothing there to wash it off. Then Jeremiah 31 shifts everything. "I will make a new covenant. I will write my law on their hearts." Now it's not outside of you anymore. The lawgiver moves in. And instead of demanding obedience from a distance, he begins producing it from within. That's what Jesus is pointing to when he lifts the cup. And then there's the blood. A covenant is only as strong as the life behind it. The old one was upheld by repeated sacrifices, temporary, limited. This one is backed by the life of the Son of God. Hebrews calls it the everlasting covenant, which means it doesn't expire. It doesn't depend on your consistency. It holds because he holds. So if you are in Christ, your standing with God isn't shifting day to day. It's anchored. Now this is where it presses in. Most people think in terms of improvement, trying to be better, fix habits, manage behavior. But that's reform. And reform doesn't change the core. Scripture doesn't say you're repaired. 2 Corinthians 5:17, a new creation. Not improved. New. Different at the level of nature. So when you take the cup, you're not just remembering something. You're agreeing with what it accomplished. My past is dealt with, not managed, removed. My heart now belongs to God. My relationship with him is no longer built on performance. You're not outside trying to meet a standard. You're at the table. And that changes everything. Because God isn't looking for a better version of you. He's given you his Son. Not just as an example, but as life. So the cup isn't just symbolic. It's the guarantee that what God requires, he also provides. And what you could never produce, he now works into you. So today, as you think about Holy Thursday, as you prepare for communion, or maybe you're watching this and you've never thought deeply about any of this before, I want to ask you something. Not just, did you take the bread and the wine? But has the life of Christ become your life? Not just, did you go to church? But are you walking in humility, obedience, and truth outside of those walls? Not just, do you know the symbols? But are you living the reality? Because Jesus is still extending that offer right now, not just to be admired, not just to be talked about, but to be received. Revelation 3:20, Jesus said, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him, and he with me." That's not a metaphor about communion service. That's a picture of intimacy, of relationship, of a God who wants to be in your life, not just mentioned in it. So don't just remember the table, understand it. The bread is real, the blood is real, the covenant is real, and the transformation He is offering you, that is real. The only question is whether you'll receive it. If this message hit you today, I want you to do 3 things, like subscribe and share this with somebody who needs to hear it. Don't let this sit just with you. And if you're watching this and you want to go deeper into what it truly means to walk in covenant relationship with God, drop a comment below. I read every single one, and we're going to keep digging into the Word together. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one.